Hey, how's it going, guys? My name is bigMooney, and this is our review of the newly released Grid 2. So to give you a brief outline of what this game is, it is a sequel to the critically acclaimed Race Driver Grid released by Codemasters back in 2008. A game that was loved by millions, including myself, so I was very much looking forward to what they would do with the sequel. So, let's have a little look at it now, shall we? But what is Grid? Well, basically it's not a true racing sim such as Gran Turismo or Forza or anything like that. Then again, it's not a total arcade racer either, like Need for Speed or Burnout, where you basically have all the nitrous you could possibly ever need. So it's basically like a hybrid of these two styles, very much combining both arcade elements as well as some true driver sim stuff in there too. Alright, so some basic features of this game. Well, it includes over 50 cars, ranging from tier 1 cars such as the Ford Focus ST and Volkswagen Golf, going all the way up to tier 4 cars such as the Bugatti Veyron 16.4 Supersport and the Koenigsegg, however you're supposed to say that, Agera R. The tier 1 cars, as you would expect, are a lot easier to tame than the tier 4 Bugatti Veyrons, but with a little practice you'll be mastering those corners in no time, and it is a lot of fun going around a corner at 200 miles an hour. Tracks in this game range from city tracks in Barcelona, Chicago and Dubai to mountainside tracks, and also racing circuits dotted around the planet. In terms of single player, for you guys that are into that sort of thing, basically you get like a little campaign revolving around like a new growing racing brand called WSR, and you got gain fans through social media, doing well in races, etc, etc, and by getting these fans, you build the sport from the ground up. And they have this interesting little partnership with ESPN Sports Center where you get these random guys talking shit every once in a while in cutscenes.
We've had champions race champions before, but it's been in a bit of an odd environment.
I have no idea who these guys are. But not many people actually buy these racing games for the single player, so let's talk about some online. It has an extensive range of different game modes to challenge friends and random people online, such as time trials, one-on-one face-offs, checkpoint races, or just plain good old racing with up to 12 players at any one time. Now, 12 players doesn't sound like a lot of people, but that road gets pretty cluttered pretty quickly, so 12 is plenty in my book. There's a leveling up system in there also. You gain money and XP through your racing performances, of course determined by how well you actually do in each race. And basically you use this XP to level up, and each time you level up, you unlock more items. Whether that be cars, upgrades for your cars, new types of paint, and other crazy crap is up to obviously the level that you land on. Well, basically I say you unlock stuff, you don't really unlock it, you unlock the chance to buy it through the money you actually earn through doing more and more races. So basically they go hand in hand with each other, and well, it's nothing evolutionary, but it's clean and I like how it's set out and it does the job. Alright, so that's some basic features. Let's move on to what's good and what's bad, etc, etc. Alright, first thing you'll pick up on when you put the game on are the visuals, of course. The game looks awesome. I'm currently playing it on PC. It runs really smoothly on high settings, clocking in at around 100 frames per second while I'm actually racing. I'm really happy with how well the game actually runs. I'm pretty sure that it would even run quite well on lower end systems, low to medium end systems. If you want my personal PC specs, you can go into my About section on my channel page and you get all the specs just there. Saves me from listing out all that boring stuff for people who are not interested. But yeah, this game I think will run pretty much on any decent gaming system. That's good. The graphics themselves look really nice. And the game has a day and night cycle thrown in there too, so sometimes you can end up racing off into the sunset and it really looks pretty damn awesome. Now of course the car models also look fantastic. Well, at least for the first 10 seconds of the race before this happens. Then your car is probably going to look more like it belongs in a scrap heap than on a racetrack. But that also shows that the damage models on the cars are really nice also, and really well done. And yeah, that takes me to my next point here about the damage models of the cars themselves. There's two different options for the damage models of the cars in this game. Basically, one option is far more difficult than the other, and that is where your car will take actual damage, where the engine will suffer, you'll lose tires, you'll lose your exhaust and other sorts of crazy crap. And you can also just have visual only damage too. In most online modes, it's visual damage only though, meaning you can't wreck your car beyond any sort of use. You can activate it in custom races though, so there still is an option to be able to just wreck your car, if that's what you're into. But when you're playing the offline single player, you will be losing tires and shit, so watch out, man. Now, one other feature that's back from Grid 1 is the flashback mode, where if you mess up a turn, you get to rewind your progress and continue on from a spot within the last 10 seconds or so. And, well, that's basically how it works in the single player. It's slightly different online, though. Basically, if you crash, you can hit Y or triangle, depending on your system, and you'll appear about 50 feet back from where you are online. Pretty much instantly this will happen, so it's a very handy little feature. And I'm really glad that it is there, because I mean sometimes you'll end up spinning out of control or smashing into an overzealous spectator's face at 150 miles per hour because the guy behind you couldn't be arsed waiting for the next opportunity to present itself and thought wiping you the fuck out would solve all his problems. We'll get to drivers later on though. For now, flashback is good, so yeah. But yeah, like I said, this game isn't a true racing simulator, so it doesn't handle like one. It has a very strong emphasis on drifting. So if you're going to be any good at this game, you have to be good at drifting. The cars do feel great though. Whenever you go around a corner at 100 miles per hour and perfect the turn, it's so satisfying. Especially if you whiz right past an opponent who's too busy trying not to kill someone in row Z with his now airborne bumper. The races are hectic and addicting, and I found myself playing for hours on end yesterday, having a blast playing loads of different modes. The way the online is set up basically puts you into a playlist instead of just one particular game mode. So basically when you're in a lobby, it will randomly select the game mode, map, and car tier type. It's really good for breaking up the flow of things. If you're just playing one particular type of race with one particular tier of cars, it will get very boring very quickly. But the way that it works out is one race you could be doing a standard race with 11 other people in tight city streets of Paris and your little Alfa Romeo Giulietta, and the next you're 1v1ing someone down a windy Japanese mountain in supercars. It's pretty damn awesome, man. But as with every game, there are a few negative points also, so let's delve into those a little bit now, shall we? Right, okay, so first up, there's no cockpit view. In this day and age, with all the great graphical capabilities of games, you'd think they'd have this in there. Apparently, according to Codemasters, no one used it in the previous Grid game, so they just decided to take it out. Maybe it was a cost decision, maybe they just didn't think it was worth wasting the time and money on it, so yeah, they just didn't bother doing it. It's a bit disappointing, but in my opinion, it's not a huge loss to the game. I personally didn't really use it that often, but it is a very cool feature. And yeah, it is pretty disappointing that they didn't put it in there. Alright, so moving on. My single biggest gripe with this game so far has to be one of the new penalty features implemented into the actual races. So basically, if you cut a corner, mainly a grassy corner of the track, the game will give you a corner cutting penalty and slow your car down to like 40 miles per hour for a few seconds. This length of time differs for each incident. I'm assuming it's how big of a distance you cut when going over the corner or whatever, and that's the deciding factor on how long your penalty is. Alright, so I would say it's a good idea having this. So some of you guys might be out there going, well, what's so bad about this? This sounds like a good thing. Well, they want to stop people from cutting right in front of people, skipping parts of the track and stuff like that. That I'm all for, but it definitely needs some tweaking. I've had instances where barely any of my cars over the edge of the track, and I get like a 4 or 5 second speed penalty, basically resulting in me ending up miles behind my competitors as they speed off into the sunset. In a few instances, my opponents have physically rammed me off of the track, and then the game penalizes me for going off the track and then coming back on again. It leaves me feeling very pissed off when the game does not only not do anything about the fact that this guy is driving like a dick, but then punishes me for being the one getting run off the track by said dickhead driver. It really makes no sense to penalize the person who's trying to play the game properly. If it could somehow, I don't know, if it could somehow detect that I'm getting rammed off of the track right before this turn, and then maybe not punish me when I come back onto the track, that would be good. I would enjoy that. But in the meantime, definitely fucking annoying when it happens. Also, it seems like the boundaries need a bit of work too on these little corners. Sometimes you'll get penalised for the slightest off-track movement, and then sometimes you'll just not get a penalty and you're going on all sorts of fucking off-road expeditions. The game just doesn't give a shit. It makes no sense. So it definitely needs some work. Twice in the same track, at the same part, I got a speed penalty because my back tires went slightly off of the road as I was drifting a corner. How in the fuck is this defined as cutting a corner? If anything, it's the complete opposite. It needs some work, and I hope they do something in an upcoming patch because it's annoying. Okay, so my next point here doesn't just take this game into account, it's pretty much for all racing games. And basically that point is, people are dicks. When you're playing online, the mentality of some of the players is that of a 10-year-old when they will try and smash the crap out of you at any opportunity. Shit man, most people would much rather take you the fuck out rather than let you pass them. If it looks like in any way you are going to go past them, they will take you out. The thing is, usually when they do this, it results in both of you losing whatever positions you had, and then another 4 people going past you going, look at these couple of fucking wallopers, and then just speeding off, and both of you are just fighting it out to see who comes last. It's counterproductive, and it's fucking annoying. So stop doing it. Well, whoever it is out there that's doing that. I mean, it is to be expected. I'm not saying anything bad about this particular game because of it. I'm just saying, if you buy this game, expect this when you go online. I mean, what do you expect to happen when you give a 12-year-old some keys to a Bugatti Veyron? It's gonna happen. But yeah, on the point of the Bugatti, actually, that brings something up. There's a gross imbalance when it comes to some of the cars in the game. When new players race up against veterans. Usually in an online lobby, there will be at least one person out there. At this point in the game's life cycle, it's only been out for a week, there will be one person there who sank their last week of their life into this game, and they have all the best stuff. And all the lower level people who have just gotten the game over the weekend or whatever, they're going in there with the stock stuff that you get when you start the game. So basically when you get in a game, the people that have the best cars just zoom off and you never catch them. There's sometimes where honestly you could be doing the best driving of your life around this track and not even come close to the person who's out front because they have a better car than you and there's not anything you can do about it. There was just this one instance, right, the first day I was playing this game, where one guy had a Bugatti Veyron in particular, which by the way, if you're not a car savvy person, a Bugatti Veyron is pretty fucking fast, to say the least. But basically, this one guy, at the start of the race, we went round this first corner, and he just smashed off of a couple of people, and I thought he was going to end up sending himself to the fucking moon at the speed this guy was going. So, clearly this guy was no expert. You could clearly tell by the way he tried to take on that first corner. So after this first corner, there was a little section of turns, twists and turns left and right here and there. And the guy kind of lagged behind for a little bit. But then when we got out of this little section of corners and we got back to the sort of straight part of the track again, fucking whoosh, this guy goes flying right past everyone. He made our supercars, which were going at like 200 miles an hour, might I add, look like we were driving baths on wheels. He finished the race 30 whole seconds ahead of everyone. Like I said, this guy was definitely no expert, just judging by the way he tried to take that first turn and the ones just after that, but yet he finished that much further ahead than everyone else. It leads me to wonder, why did they even put the Bugatti Veyron in the game in the first place? It clearly outclasses everything else that's even there. At least from my experience thus far. I don't know if one or two of the other cars can almost keep up with it, I don't know. But fact of the matter is, most people don't have those cars yet, they can't compete with these people, and it's a bit imbalanced. So expect that if you do buy this game for the first part of you leveling up, you're going to come up against these people with better cars than you. So if you are going to dive into this game, do it now, before people end up with too high levels and you just can't compete. But all in all, don't let that put you off. Grid 2 is a fantastic game. I love the way that they keep things fresh with the playlist and keep the game modes, cars and tracks just varying all the time. It really keeps you playing for hours and hours on end. It looks awesome, it runs really smoothly, and it is great fun to play online. I'm really thinking that this game will actually hold my attention for some time to come. I'm not a hardcore racing fan by any stretch of the imagination, But I think this game I could sink a lot of time into, I especially have over the last few days. Kind of the reason I didn't have a video out yesterday. Keep in mind though, it's no racing sim, so if that's your thing, if you're a hardcore racing sim guy, maybe this isn't for you. But for everyone else, I would very highly recommend this game. If I had to give it a number for the people that like that sort of thing, I would say probably an 8.5. It could easily be higher if they just fix the damn annoying corner cutting bullshit and possibly balance the game a little bit better, but other than that, the game is awesome. For any of you guys out there who are interested in buying the game, there's going to be a Games Fan shop link in the description down below, and there will be a little coupon code for you guys to get 5% off of Race Driver Grid. But until next time, I have been Big Mooney. I hope to see you guys later on. If you enjoyed this review, hit that like button down below and tell me, should I do more reviews in the future? I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.